Welcome to Hollywood, California. Hello everyone, I'm Melissa New and welcome to Framed. We are here in Hollywood to showcase an awesome team of film photographers. But they're not just a photography team, they're twin brothers.
Well, it's okay. It's alright to only crash into the planet and the place where I was standing, trying to get a better view.
Well, we're right now in the heart of Hollywood. This is our studio. We call it Twinlens Studio. It's where we do most of our work and process our film.
And obviously you've spent a lot of time together, now you're business partners. But when is it that you guys decided, I want to be an artist, I want to do photography, I want to... So do you guys have a moment where you both looked at each other and said, I want to do this. Let's do this.
No, we actually didn't have to say anything. It just kind of osmosis.
Yeah.
No,
You got the twin mojo
yeah,
thing.
we just like looked at each other and we knew exactly what we were gonna do. At a certain point, we did make that decision, but to start off, we were just best friends. There's a great community college down in San Diego called Palomar. Shout out, they're great. So we started taking classes there, not for a degree, but just okay, let's go into the intermediate class. And we just kind of skipped into that, and then we're like, okay, now let's take this advanced black and white and portfolio class, and started taking all these different classes just to use the darkroom, just to be around other photographers that were shooting a lot, and everyone was still shooting film. But during that process, we realized we were taking classes together, but the teachers didn't like us to do our projects together because they can't grade them accurately.
Right.
So that's when we started to decide, like, okay, what are we gonna do? And we just knew, like, there wasn't an option. We still wanted to shoot together. Like, it was just, we'd shoot separate, but we'd end up getting like similar images, and the teacher would be like, wait, are you sure this isn't his image? And I'm like, actually, yeah, no, I'm not, because we shot so much together.
Yeah.
And some of the teachers were really flexible with that. And it just kind of evolved into something where we figured out that we shot best together, and we learned best together. We developed our style and our vision and found our voice best from working together.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter who was clicking the shutter, we were still influencing each other on the shoots.
Wow.
So at that point, we didn't know how it all worked together or what our like end goal was going to be. We were still shooting like skateboarding photography and just other fine art stuff like travel. And we had some friends that were in bands and stuff because we loved going to shows, and music scene in San Diego back then was pretty good.
Yeah.
And we started shooting live concerts. We had first somebody like want to pay us, like it was probably like $100 or something.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, yeah, we'll take it. And so we shot it, and we shot it like we were shooting skateboarding photography. You know, like getting action shots of these bands that were like somewhat like metal influence, so there was like slam dancing, like hair going everywhere. So we're shooting it like with the strobes and everything, with the stage lights and strobes, and trying to mix that, and doing shutter drag and experimenting a whole bunch. And from there, it led into portraiture and doing music portraiture. We ended up doing some editorial work as well. Didn't like the whole editorial scene because then the artist is kind of like the commodity rather than the photographer.
Yeah.
Right.
But we really enjoyed shooting stuff for like albums, because then they'll give you like a day or a couple days to shoot it, big budget, you know, lights, you could go on location and shoot, and everything's about the image rather than, you know, we'll give you about 15 minutes to shoot this guy for the cover of this magazine. It's like, oh, you're gonna make my album sell. We're gonna have a good insert or like cover photo or whatever. And that got us into music, and then that's where we really found our voice and our passion.
Let's run away. This time tonight. Just like they're never gonna get us dark. Sarah said us, this place has got a bad view.
Cheese! Okay, anyway, so what are we gonna do? What are you guys doing?
We're gonna rock LA.
Yeah, definitely.
Rock LA.
taking out Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hard rock style.
So you've got this beautiful camera up here. What are your first shots? What are you thinking for Ryan, Tanya, and Tia? What do you think?
So we're gonna do, this is our courtyard behind our studio, and since it's close by, we're gonna probably do some individual headshots and then maybe a shot of all three of them on 4x5.
Cool.
We're shooting with a 3¼ 4¼ speed graphic that's been modified to shoot 4x5 with a old aerial lens on it. So Melissa got all
I
of
know.
that.
I totally get it.
It's like
So for all you nerds
Jimmy
out
rigged.
there,
Jimmy rigged.
Jimmy
Yeah.
rigged. Okay.
So-
this is how old is this camera?
oh, this camera, speed graphic?
Late 40s.
Yeah, late
40s.
40s.
That one
The
is.
lens is from World War II. It's a
Wow.
Nazi spy aerial lens. They use it for night photography, doing aerial shots, and they drop flash bombs.
Oh wow.
Just leave the shutter
Wow.
open. So
Okay.
Awesome.
So are you guys a little nervous? You're not used to.
Oh my God, we're so scared.
Look at Ryan. He's
Fine.
like, no.
Ryan, get out of
terrified.
here.
you guys are like beautiful.
We
so,
trust
yeah,
we
we're,
trust you
make our
guys.
job
We
easy.
trust you guys. But we are so like it's so
So
easy to be on the
nervous.
other side of the camera.
Yeah.
It's so hard to have your picture taken. So
Oh, you guys look great.
We're
This will be
squirming.
fun.
We'll try to make it easy for you guys.
Okay, cool.
Still think about it. We'll make it look good.
Let's do it. Okay, so you guys know that today you're going to be shooting, and the images are going to be used for collateral for the film show. For whether it's online or whether it's a huge 10-foot by 10-foot blown up banner.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, do you guys get together? How do you discuss your projects? Do you just kind of say, all right, let's do this, we'll see what comes out of the camera, or do you discuss a project
Well, the last
beforehand?
couple of days we kind of did discuss it about how what we're trying to get across, what you guys want, and what Ryan and Tanya and Tia, who they are. That's a big part of it too, because
Right.
their personalities are going into
They're
their
crazy.
show.
They're
Yeah.
crazy.
So we wanna get that across, and so we're actually leaving a lot to them, and that's actually a big part of what we do. Like they're not necessarily most of our clients aren't professional models,
Right.
but they are people, and they have their own personalities and aspects of their personality, that qualities that need to be brought out. So we're looking forward to kind of explore and discover that as well.
And collaborate.
See what happens. Yeah.
Lots of collaboration.
Basically, this camera is just a box with a lens in the front that's on a little track that moves forwards and backwards.
Yeah.
I want you to
And
look
that
here,
helps
right?
focus. And on the back, there's ground glass that we focus on with a loop.
All right, Ryan.
Oh, so you've got this cool little doohickey.
Yeah,
what does
this,
that do?
This helps me focus. I go here and I block the light, and I
Right.
can go in and do critical focus. Ryan, I want you to look right here.
So how are you setting your shutter speed and f-stop and all that?
Well, the aperture is on the lens, and the shutter speed. This is a pretty unique 4x5 camera because it has a curtain shutter,
Right.
and the curtain shutter has actually 4 curtains. It's a long curtain with slits in the curtain, and you can crank it past all 4 slits and get bigger and bigger and bigger, and 5 tensions. There's a little diagram on the top that tells you, like, curtain A, tension
Down lower.
3, and that will give you 60th of a second. So you actually,
So
it's
you have
kind of
to do math?
complicated. No,
Take
it's
your
all
head
right
that
here
way.
on this
Oh,
little
gotcha.
diagram.
Oh, wow.
Like-
So there's a diagram right here.
Yeah, so this diagram
lens,
shows you the different
right there. And then
tension
look towards
levels,
me a little
which
bit.
causes the curtain to move faster or slower.
Chin up a little.
And then the slits in the curtain cause it to let more or less light in.
Wow.
And so you have actually 2 settings for the shutter, which
Wow.
can get a little confusing. But
So in other
that's
words,
the most
other
complicated
words,
part.
this is like the coolest Polaroid camera I've ever seen.
We just did a Polaroid,
Oh, okay.
and it's right here. I
Oh,
can go
okay.
ahead and peel it apart. Let me take a look at it. But actually, we're going to shoot some negative film.
Oh, very cool. Oh, that's awesome.
And there's the neg. It'll slowly fade to all be black, but then afterwards we have this process where we actually bleach off the back and it becomes a transparent negative. Normally this is just trash, but it gives us a unique look, and it's a little sharper than the actual print, because the print's a relief print. And there's the print.
Can I get you to kind of turn this way just a little bit with your shoulders? Yeah, like that. Kind of try to peek at him over there. Yeah. We started shooting film, and we've been shooting film ever since we were 14 years old. And we had the opportunity to switch to digital. We've seen a lot of people switch to digital, but fortunately within the last couple of years we've seen a lot of people come back to film. A lot of people never shot film are coming to film for the first time. And there's a few years ago people were like, oh, film's going to be dead, and the culture has changed and people are realizing that film is what it is. You know, digital, it's like any other art. Oils are for oil paintings, and watercolors are for watercolor paintings. You know, digital is for creating digital images, and film is for creating film images. And we love film. It creates a lot of potential possibilities of using different cameras, different lenses, different formats, different film emulsions, each one having their own personality and combinations of personalities. Oh my gosh, the technical aspect of being able to shoot all these different films and how you process it and alternative processes is limitless. Yeah. And we can geek out on that forever, you know, for the rest of our lives and still not discover everything. We have a little bit less selection of like color emulsions than we did 10 years ago, but they're better.
Yeah, and the new ones are much better.
Everything's, you know, the market has shrunk, but it's become more refined. You know, the labs that are still out there are really good. But I see the future of film as being more and more fine art and more of people getting into it intentionally as opposed to, oh, I have a camera and I'm going to take pictures. And so I really see film as a medium of a real art form of photography and people being able to explore.
Is who you guys are. That's a part of your style.
Yeah, I've shot digital. Yeah. I've shot digital for different projects and stuff, and I had a Nikon D300 and a D90, and I played around with them. I never gave up on film. Yeah. And it created some interesting images, created some video, but it can't replace what we do. And for other photographers, digital is just what they like. It's exactly the way it records the image, and with their workflow, it works for them. Yeah. For us, it's film. And I encourage digital photographers always to get in, try film. You know, I don't want to change their vision or change their workflow, but try film. It's fun. You know, the different mediums, like if you just want to try black and white and try hand processing yourself, it's easy. Yeah. You know, $200 investment, you can hand process your own black and white. I mean, the greatest thing about film is our cameras, and we get to shoot the cameras we love.
Well, I have tons of friends who shot film and now shoot digital and now do both. Right. And they have, those who have shot film and especially processed their own, just have a better grasp on image making, period. Yeah. And how light works and how to use Photoshop even. It sounds silly, but Photoshop is based as an emulator off of old darkening techniques. Straight on at me. Chin's way up and eyes closed. Completely closed.
what is your vision now? What is your guys' mission? Every time that you guys go out and shoot, what do you want to accomplish? I mean, people call you experimental and exploratory. What do you guys want to be known for?
I think right now what our vision is and what we're aiming towards is we shoot a lot of different cameras, a lot of different films. Our clients really love it too because they love having different formats, different looks for each image. It gives them a lot to choose from for their book and for the prints they're going to go on their wall. We shoot a lot of 35mm for the documentary, somewhat photojournalistic type of photography, and then we shoot a lot of medium format for the portraiture and details. We've had some toy cameras that we use pretty regularly in 4x5. Yeah.
You went from loving music, you went skateboard to music to
Yeah,
now I see these amazingly beautiful wedding images.
Yeah, well,
So what was that transition
we kind of
like?
found our voice in music.
Yeah.
Because we found out that it wasn't just about, adding this light or using these different gels and trying to get this like epic, like beautiful picture. With music, we did that, but then we're like, wait, this doesn't look like this. This looks like they're like way too hardcore and they're like a soft mellow band. And we figured out how to try to put into our images not just what something looks like, but a feel and even what something sounds like. And we didn't want to do weddings. I was like, wedding photography? I'm not into that. But we had musicians that we shot their album and their tour, and they're like, oh, I want you to do my wedding. 'Cause of course, they met a girl on tour, and we're like, oh, I'm getting married now. I'm like, that's good for you, but I'm not a wedding photographer. And they're like, I know, that's why I want you to shoot it. I want you to do it. I want you to shoot our wedding like you did our tour, and do our portraits like you did our album. And I'm like, I don't even know like how to charge for that. I'm like, you're not gonna be happy. I'm like trying to talk him out of it.
Yeah.
And so the first job we did, he said, oh, you do all black and white, hand processed black and white. I'm like, okay, no guarantees,
Yeah.
but I'll do it because that sounds interesting. I'll see if that turns out. Like I thought it was gonna be like a project. Like I'll shoot this wedding in like a rock and roll style, just to be like weird and offbeat.
Yeah.
And they loved it, and other people loved it. And then we shot a few other musicians' weddings, and then that just started getting the word out, and we started just shooting random people's weddings. And it was all for what we did and what we saw. Yeah, we have great clients.
Getting to know them.
Because they book us for what they see our vision.
Yeah.
Right.
And one thing that sat with me forever ever since I was in school, I can't remember, I think we had a commercial photographer come into one of our classes and speak to us. You don't ever, no matter what you shoot, you never put anything in your portfolio, no matter how good it is, unless it's something you want to shoot again. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's, and that's why I didn't want to do weddings, because I'm like, oh, I don't want to do a bunch of weddings.
Right.
But when we did it our way, and we only put the images in that we felt communicated our voice, it built a portfolio for people to see that people want us to do more of what we wanted. And every time we discover a new way to implement our voice, a new thing that we really want to do more, we put that in our portfolio, and people book us for that.
Can you give anyone that's wanting to get into music, that wants to get into film, that wants to get into portraiture, that wants to live in Hollywood? I mean, you're living the dream for a lot of people. What advice do you guys have for aspiring photographers that want to do what you're doing?
Shoot for you. That's the main thing. If you try to have a certain destination way off in the distance, you're going to this ideal, you're going to be let down. You'll never reach that goal, or maybe that when you do reach it, it's going to not satisfy you. You have to just enjoy what you're doing now and grow.
There's tons of outlets, and the same thing with photography. There's tons of outlets to share your work with people and to get satisfaction out of what you're creating. Does that mean that you want a career in photography? It's a good question to ask, because if pursuing a career means putting your vision aside and doing what other people tell you to do, you might not even want that. You might want to get a degree and become an instructor and do what you really love, or have a different job that you actually love to do. You may have some other passion that you like to do, and you want to do photography on the side. But don't ever give up on your passion. And we have a lot of friends who are in the music industry, and are musicians, and some are signed to major record labels, some are completely independent, and or on their own label. And if they're doing what they really care about, there's a different route for everyone, you know. And good thing about the world that we live in, and social networking and online sharing of images and music and stuff like that, is there's tons of people out there just waiting to hear something new.
Yeah.
You know, be you and express yourself for who you are, and you'll find something truly original.
I'm Brian,
And I'm Brandon,
and we're the Brothers Wright.
and we've just been framed. Is that okay?
Bravo!
Frame Season 3 was brought to you by Bay Photo Lab. Like the music? Special thanks to Triple Scoop Music. Frame Network giveaways are brought to you by B&H. Head to giveaways.framenetwork.com for your chance to win. Find out more about the equipment used in this episode on framenetwork.com.